Hello. Hi, everybody. Thank you very much for hearing me out. And there's some good presenters before us, too, so set the stage for this. So happy to make forward-looking statements, happy to keep making forward-looking statements, but we'll get right into it here. The company has two assets. We have a bit of a short timeline, so I'm going to focus quite a bit on the Zacatecas projects, but we are really fortunate to have two standalone assets in Mexico. We have our Zacatecas district projects on the almost geographic center of Mexico in one of the world's most important silver mining jurisdictions. It's a silver-rich epithermal system. We have a small starter resource on it. It is linked up with an excellent set of infrastructure, paved roads to the property, power, water, very experienced mining labor force, very skilled labor force, very skilled STEM engineering force, and we have a variety of ownership of that asset. Our other project, the Tepal Project, is a very well-known gold-copper system. It's a pre-feasibility PEA level project, 1.8 million ounces measured and indicated gold, 813 million pounds of copper. Again, infrastructure is great. You can drive to it in Guadalajara. There's power about 8 kilometers away. And it's fully owned by our company, and we've recently entered into an option to repurchase the NSR on that asset as well. So Defiance as a team has a very robust resource base. As I said, 1.8 million ounces of measured and indicated gold at Tepal, 800 million pounds of copper. We have inferred resources as well there, and tremendous exploration potential, which we've really demonstrated in the last 18 months with our drilling campaigns in Zacatecas. And we have a team of people that have been very successful doing this. We've got a management team in country with over 100 years of operating, combined 100 years of operating experience in Mexico, taking projects from exploration through to M&A and mine development, operating some of the largest and of their asset type mines in Mexico. When that's combined with our directors and senior leadership, that's over 200 years of mining and capital markets experience. So a really rich group of people with a really rich knowledge base. And as cliched as is, we do have a strong leverage to precious metal prices. We'll get hopefully into a little bit more about the Tepal project at the end, but every $250 movement in the price of gold adds $100 million to the post-tax NPV of the Tepal asset, and that doesn't take into consideration the copper price movements. About 40% of our company's management, key shareholders, institutions, CEO and senior leadership of the team, the CEO, co-founder of Windermere Capital, they're the largest shareholder of the company. So very aligned with our shareholders. And if you go back in the last 12 months, you'll see that we've been very active on the market. And we're drilling right now. We've been drilling perpetually since we became involved in the company. We've been delivering some of the highest grade results in the Zacatecas district in the last 20 years. And we're going to continue to drill, even though the market has hit us with a gale force wind in the last 4 weeks. Strong cash position, fully financed for the next 12 months of work, about 220 million shares outstanding, pretty straightforward capital structure. We have some warrants right now that are in the money. Hopefully we'll see some capital come in from that. And as we mentioned, institutional ownership sitting about 30% right now. We're not, unlike most of our peers, have been hit pretty hard by the market in the last couple months here, but does trade quite actively on the market, about 220,000 shares on the Toronto Stock Exchange average daily, but good liquidity across the US and Canada markets. So Zacatecas is arguably the most important silver mining jurisdiction in the world. The state produces the most silver in Mexico, and Mexico is the largest silver producing country in the world. We are 40 kilometers away from the world's largest primary silver mining complex, Fresnillo, in a very similar crustal position. Next door to Fresnillo is Mag Silver's Juanicipio project, joint venture with Fresnillo. That will be the world's largest primary silver mine once they reach full commercial production. About 100 kilometers away from La Colorada, Pan American Silver's flagship silver mining operation. South of Camino Rojo, one of Mexico's most recently permitted open pit mines, gold mines. And of course, the super mine Peñasquito, which is in the north of Mexico. So very good address. Mining is the largest contributor to the state of the largest contributor of GDP to the state of Zacatecas. So very, very friendly mining culture here. We have a variety of ownership of this asset, from full ownership of the Mag Silver licenses to projects under option, but everything's either under option or fully owned to 100%. So a very clear path to total ownership. And the only asset in our portfolio that we don't have an opportunity to repurchase the NSR of is the Lucita project, which we recently optioned from Pan American Silver. This is a 500-year-old mining jurisdiction. or mining camp itself. There is tremendous infrastructure here. You can drive to it on paved roads from an international airport. There's an autopista or a toll highway that bisects the two principal areas of exploration. We are right next to the Cozamin mine, run by Capstone Mining, one of their flagship copper mining operations. It is hard to imagine you can get better infrastructure for a mining project, and that certainly has helped develop our thesis of what we can do with this asset. The resource that's in place has been augmented by about 20,000 meters, maybe 25,000 meters of drilling. And if you look over the last 12 months of what we've been doing, we've been showing that there's still a lot of grade and a lot of veins to be found in the district. And that is exactly what happened at Fresnillo. And so that proof of concept is very real for us. So Fresnillo, world's largest primary silver mining complex, was out of ore in the 1960s. 1975, they found Santo Niño. That turned the lights back on. And why that's important is that up until the 1960s, this camp had produced more silver than Fresnillo. It's a billion-ounce historic silver producer. From that, up until the 1960s, Fresnillo was kind of lagging behind this district. They found Santo Niño. They're a 7 billion-ounce silver camp. Meg Silver stepped in there in 2003. They found Juanicipio. That's going to be the world's largest primary silver mine. So going into these jurisdictions and looking for the principal structures and controls of mineralization do help advance these projects to what can become world-class assets. And we saw the opportunity to do that by acquiring a large land position. We tripled our land position with this Lucita acquisition, a transaction we did with Pan American Silver. We quickly scaled into what we thought was a good target area called the Palenque vein system. And our first set of results really did show that there's a lot more to be found, drilling up to 3 kilograms per ton silver. But some of our holes came back with 5 independent vein sets in them. And for a first pass drill program, that's quite remarkable. So as an upcoming catalyst for this district, we did release the results in the eastern half, the top map in the eastern half, those yellow results. Those have been released. We still have another 8 holes pending from that drill program. We're hitting good grade, mineable widths, very nice mineralization, as you can see in that photo. And it does fit well with our Veta Grande resource drilling project. They're about 3 kilometers away from each other. This asset or this acquisition also came with another block of licenses called the Panuco licenses, and they're in the north, as you can see in the map on the side, the small scale map on the side. And that's been really interesting for us, as there's another company in the area called Zacatecas Silver. They're another publicly traded company doing a really good job of drilling in this area, discovering some very excellent grades, very excellent mineral system. They're drilling right on our property boundary in the north. So we do have that to look forward to. We just keep watching those results pile up, and we are, a true closeology on that, and we'll look at what we'll do with that northern block. But really the anchor of the district, or the pillar of the district, is the Veta Grande. The Veta Grande is one of the most well-known silver vein systems in Mexico. It's a historical 150 million ounce producer. We have about 60% of that historical vein system. Like I said, the infrastructure is tremendous here. We have an option to acquire 100% as well as an option to repurchase the NSR on this. We have been drilling this, well, I've said 25,000 meters of drilling, but we've been drilling this since our involvement since the fall and returned some significant results well outside of that resource estimate. This project sits directly next to Capstone's Cozamin mine, so we know that these closeology or representative sort of size of the system is working well for us in our targeting, but we're drilling well below the resource estimate, up to 200 meters below the resource estimate. And that photo on the left-hand side there, the bottom photo, that's the deepest hole that we've had put out up until the end of 2021, and still in a very active vein system. So we know that there is more potential at depth here. This is a long section through the deposit, some photos of the area. You can see there's a lot of mining infrastructure. That's what all those gray lines are up at the top. A lot of mining infrastructure left in place from the historical operators. And we're drilling well below that, but also drilling in some of the old workings just to find out what kind of relic mineralization is in place. This deposit has a 100 gram per ton cutoff. And if you look at some of the grades that we've released in the last results, 1,400 grams, 1,100 grams, 1,300 grams, a lot of good material, almost 2 times below that resource estimate. That photo just kind of gives you an idea of the infrastructure. So the highest grade drill hole that the company's released in the Veta Grande in this part of the district, drilled underneath a power line right next to an open pit. There's a paved road in the background. That set of buildings that you can see far distance is a 1,000 ton per day mill. And there's a fully permitted tailings facility that our property adjacent to private owners own. So what are we doing to add value to Zacatecas? We are doing discovery-focused geoscience, and it's working. We're finding a lot of silver, and we're fully financed to do it. So at the end of the day, we just want to add ounces to an already advanced asset.
Thank you.